Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Karli Barnett. You are here at the First Alert Desk, and we want to give you a look at some of the stories that you can see later on tonight, as well as a bit of a recap of what we were following earlier today. We hope you are enjoying this nice sweltering Saturday. We have First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin. He's going to be giving you your weekend forecast here in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, we do want to give you a look at some of the stories that we are working on today. If you guys have been following these First Alert updates for a little while, you know that we try to sort of walk you through the process of our news gathering. And sometimes that involves new information. And we just got this video in to the newsroom. Our reporter, Asia Wilson, if you watched our 6 o'clock broadcast on CBS, you know that she was following the case of Atlanta police investigating two separate ATM burglaries. Now, we aren't talking somebody taking money out of an ATM. They up and took the entire ATM. Atlanta police would not confirm if these two incidents were connected, though they did happen within just a few minutes of each other. It happened early this morning around 4 o'clock in the morning, but I want to take you to this video now. Asia just got this from one of those locations. You can see two people there caught on camera hoisting that ATM into the back of their van. And again, this happened around 4 o'clock in the morning. Atlanta police are saying if you have any information, they are urging you to reach out to them. But officers say they saw damage as well to the front door of the businesses inside of those businesses. One of the business owners telling Asia that, of course, the ATM was missing along with some cigarette packets. And before that, officers were called to the Mulu Mart, where it appeared a vehicle drove through the side and took the ATM machine there. So these were two different locations, one at the Conley Food Mart as well as the Mulu Mart, both happening in Atlanta, both happening within just a few minutes of each other. At this point, police have not given word on any names, any potential suspects, but you do see them right there. So police say they are looking for these two individuals in connection to this crime. Asia is going to have a full report for us coming up tonight. You can join us at 9 and 10 on Peachtree TV. You can also join us at 11 on CBS, and you can also stream us on atlantanewsfirst.com or through the app. We just want to make sure that you guys have information right at the palm of your hands, and we are showing this to you. We just got this video, I'm talking moments ago, so you all, if you're watching right now, you are the first to see it. All right. Some other things we are working on today. It's hard to believe, but it's already back to school time. I know we always say, seems like each year it gets earlier and earlier, but I really think this year might be among the earliest I've seen. I grew up in the metro Atlanta area, and I always remember going back to school mid, maybe late August. But you have different counties that are preparing right now. There were a number of different back to school events this weekend, and we want to take you to some of those now. All right, this one was in DeKalb County. Of course, students want to feel their best on their first day. So this was in Tucker. The nonprofit Omega Support helped to provide clothing and shoes. And that wasn't all. They also provided tablets, phones, gift cards, hygiene products. The first day back to school for students, if you live in DeKalb County, is August 7th. So keep that in mind. But students today were able to come, get a new outfit for school, along with a lot of other supplies and that technology, too, that is so important as they start classes. And organizers say, of course, back to school time is important, but this is actually something that the nonprofit does every month in supporting the community. So again, that is Omega Support. They're based out of Tucker, and this particular event was to support DeKalb County students. Let's take a look at Fulton County Schools. They held a back-to-school pep rally today, and they held that at two different schools, one in College Park and one in Sandy Springs. Banneker was the school in College Park, and North Springs was the one in Sandy Springs, two different high schools there. And they were helping to get students registered for all of their classes. They held information sessions to tell students what kinds of activities they could get involved with. And as you see, those mountains of backpacks that they were giving away, all filled with supplies, We talked to a parent of 2 middle school students who he was saying just it's just so important to help them get everything they need because students need so many things, as you know. And if you have a family with multiple children and maybe in multiple different school districts, you know how difficult that can be to make sure you have all those supplies and have them on time. And also Fulton County schools, they go back on the 7th as well. So, hey, if you haven't started, make sure you start getting those supplies. And finally, we have another back to school event. This one is in Clayton County. We told you they were all over Metro Atlanta today. The Board of Education representative, Mark Christmas, he joined forces with some local groups for their 3rd annual book bag giveaway. He said they were going to give out 1,000 book bags today. Of course, you also see they were serving food there as well. He was saying that this is so important to him because when he was a child, he benefited from giveaways just like this to be able to get ready to start the school year. So that's why he said it was very important to him that he gives back. Now, they start up pretty early. They start up on August 1st. So if you have a student in Clayton County schools, keep that in mind. All right, now as we're talking about the end of the summer, starting to get back to school, you may want to take one more little vacation, one more little road trip. And if you do that, just keep in mind, we are looking at some higher gas prices than we've seen recently. And we want to take you to those now. So the reason for this, we actually had an Atlanta News First viewer reach out to us and they asked us, hey, what's the deal? Why am I seeing these gas prices creeping back up? And we want to do our best to help answer those questions for you. So, hey, when you have a question, if you have a story tip, please feel free to send that into the newsroom because these are the types of things we want to do. We want to be able to provide that resource and answer those questions. Woo, $3.99. You see that? This is in the Midtown area. But yeah, those prices are steep. So I took a look and the average price in Georgia is $3.55. Now that is actually lower than the national average of $3.75. But of course, this is all going to depend on where exactly you live and a number of other factors there. So keep in mind, the closer you are into Atlanta, it's going to be a bit more expensive. Fulton County, Cobb County, Gwinnett County, those areas are seeing steeper gas prices. Now, the reason for this, it's a combination of the usual, essentially. Saudi Arabia and Russia have curtailed their production. That is driving up demand. And the U.S. has also stopped tapping into its reserves, and that's pushed prices up. And we spoke to a man. He commutes to the Midtown area from Brazelton. He was certainly feeling the pinch at the pump, if you will. Oops. Well, he's certainly not old enough to drive, but that little boy is someone that we are going to be taking you to in this next story because we are talking about the heat. Obviously, it is hot outside, and we know it's the end of July. Of course, we expect these summer temperatures, but it has been especially brutal lately. And if you want to go see the Braves play, they started, let's see, maybe close to an hour ago now. But if you plan to see the Braves at all this summer, they do have some new measures in place to help try to keep you cool. And of course, we want to cheer on the Braves, but we also want to make sure that we are comfortable doing it. So our reporter, Chelsea Beimfar, was out at Truist Park yesterday, and she shares some of the safety tips and ways to beat the heat if you are headed to watch the Bravos.
Feels like it's 100 degrees outside. I'm burning.
Very hot. Humidity. But it's typical Georgia weather.
Friday night, Braves fans packed Truist Park.
Go Braves!
Most wiping away sweat on their way through the gates.
When we got here, I was sweating as hard as I can. I was like,
It's been hot the past few weeks with the Braves games, but it's still fun.
With temperatures forecasted to be in the mid-90s throughout most of next week, Truist Park is taking precautions.
We heard there's some new cooling stations in there, so we're going to try those out.
To keep fans healthy and hydrated, the Braves organization says they've installed 2 cooling stations and 12 ice water stations throughout the ballpark.
Try and stay where there's a cool breeze. It's hard to find.
Drinking lots of water and just staying behind some fans, maybe, if we can find some.
They're also allowing fans to bring 1 sealed water bottle and a bottle of non-aerosol sunscreen into the stadium, along with battery-operated fans and umbrellas, as long as they aren't blocking anyone else's view. All things these fans say they're taking advantage of.
I'm probably gonna fan myself off, probably get and drink a lot of water and probably just try and keep hydrated.
You heard it here. Fan yourself off and try to keep hydrated. That's great advice. And so, speaking of the Braves, we want to take you out here in just a second. I also just saw on YouTube while that story was playing, Ray Glover's watching. Hey, Ray, thanks so much for joining us. All right, let's take you out to the ballpark. And I'm sure a lot of people out there tonight are wanting to take advantage of those cooling stations, drinking plenty of water. Yes, guys, I know it's a baseball game, but you gotta drink the water too, all right? So let's send things over now to Cutter. All right, Cutter, so what can we expect for the rest of our night and for the weekend?
Yeah, of course, sun lower in the horizon now. It'll be setting here within the next hour and a half. So, yes, it'll get cooler, but it's still going to be a warm and somewhat humid evening across metro Atlanta. The city as well, North Georgia and the mountains now. Kind of note, an interesting tidbit here about the forecast. We are tracking an increasing chance of some evening showers and thunderstorms. So, by and large, most neighborhoods, most folks have missed the rain today during the day light hours. But I do think that chance of rain is going to be increasing as we get into the 9, 10, 11 o'clock time frame across metro Atlanta, the city as well. So, again, thank you for tuning in, for watching. I'm Atlanta News First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin, here to give you a check of the forecast. We will talk about what is happening now, but also walk you through the evening as we track that chance of showers and thunderstorms. Another first alert for Sunday, and for the time being Monday, because of the heat. That combination of hot temperatures, upper 90s in many places, with some humidity in the air, moisture in the air, and that nasty kind of duo is going to send feels like temperatures, heat index temperatures, what it does feel like, into the lower 100s. So a lot of weather to talk about. We'll start with what's happening outside right now. We are tracking storms, a broken line of showers and thunderstorms in Tennessee, South and East Tennessee right now. They're making their way into North Georgia, and I think over the next 3 to 6 hours, we're going to be watching that band initially, and then look at what's happening as I put radar back in motion, what is happening further to the north and to the northwest. We're tracking even more shower and thunderstorm activity, a new line of storms moving out of western Kentucky, the Paducah area, back towards Nashville. That could be a secondary round of showers and thunderstorms. Not really severe, but showers and thunderstorms moving into the area as we get into the wee hours of our Sunday morning. So certainly something we'll be watching pretty closely here. Showers and thunderstorms possible tonight. That is another aspect to the forecast that I want to drive home, not just the fact that it is hot and that it is going to remain hot. I want to remind you, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, you can reach out on Atlanta News First on YouTube. That's the account to like and to follow. Wesley Millsap is watching. Hello to you, and Ray Glover as well. Thank you all for watching. If you need any clarification on the forecast, any weather questions, comments, concerns, YouTube Live, we're there now. I'm going to be watching, monitoring the feed, and I'll answer any questions that do come in. Let's get a closer look at radar. I'm going to switch over radar modes and the viewpoint here to kind of give us a finer picture and a better idea as to what is actually happening out there. And you can see the city of Atlanta is dry. But as we expand off to the south, earlier downpour out of Meriwether County near the Manchester community has moved out of the area. Jumping up to the north and east, we have another downpour here along the Fannin and Gilmer County line. This is to the southwest of Higdon. No lightning detected with this yet. This is moving to the south and east, probably going to cross US 76 between LJ and Blue Ridge, kind of missing at least that downpour, Lake Blue Ridge. But look at what is moving out of western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee right now. A broken line of showers and thunderstorms, and this will first, as far as our viewing area is concerned, impact Clay County, North Carolina, and then White and Fannin County in Georgia, and then kind of make their way through the mountains. So Ivy Log 912, you may notice rain picking up. The Cisco community 937 into LJ by 1103, if not a little bit earlier. In fact, I'm looking at the timeline here. Let me adjust this timeline, and we'll retrack this out, give you a better idea. So again, from Valleytown to Turtletown back towards Cleveland, Tennessee, downpours are moving just east of due south. All right, here's a better timeline. Into Ivy Log 838, perhaps to LJ community by 913. So if it holds together, which forecast models are suggesting it will, we're looking at possibly into metro Atlanta, at least a broken line of showers and thunderstorms here over the next several hours. So notice 9, 10, 11 p.m. hit or miss around the metro. That's round number 1 that we're tracking moving into the mountains now. 1 a.m. Sunday, here comes the remnants of those storms moving through Nashville. So there could very well be some rain around Sunday morning. I think it'll be hit or miss. It's not going to be an all-out downpour everywhere, but not as dry as it was this morning. And then we'll lose that rain chance. We're going to keep some clouds around, though. We're still going to heat it up. Temperatures tomorrow may be a little cooler with those clouds. We may have to fine-tune temperatures here. I do think the chances there for it to still be hot, still be a little bit humid, but also the chance that clouds could kind of keep it from getting as hot and humid, or at least as hot as it was today. Remember, today we made it to 97, tied for the hottest temperature so far this year. If clouds linger a little bit longer, it could manage some lower 90s tomorrow. Of course, as new data comes in, we'll reevaluate that forecast. And if we can drop the first alert for those, heat index temperatures close to 105 tomorrow, we certainly will. Still, though, plan on a hot Sunday and seasonably humid out there. Out the door tomorrow morning, upper 60s, lower 70s outside of the perimeter, inside I-285. 76 in Atlanta, definitely much milder than Blairsville's 65. 72 Sugar Hill and Beaufort, Lawrenceville, lower 70s. 73 Kennesaw, 76 in Atlanta. Hour by hour for your Sunday, there's that chance of a few showers and thunderstorms bubbling up. We're going to keep that rain chance greatest before 7 a.m., but we could see isolated rain as late as 8, 9, 10 a.m., and then continuing to dry out and gradually warm back up as we get into the noon hour tomorrow. And I think tomorrow afternoon we could see some showers and thunderstorms redevelop, kind of popping back up, bubbling up in the heat, so to speak, but I don't think it's going to be a widespread rain. I do think tomorrow could be just a little bit cooler than today. 96 your forecast high temperature, though, looking at some of this new data coming in. And we'll be on TV, Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV at 9 p.m. I'm probably going to go back and lower our forecast high temperature to about 94, 95. Nonetheless, still hot and feeling a little hotter with that moisture in the air factored in, especially east and southeast of Atlanta and Putnam County and Greene County and Upson County, those areas south and east of the city of Atlanta. We do have a heat advisory tomorrow. So eastern areas, for example, Athens, 94, but it feels much hotter because there's more humidity, more moisture in the air out there than say, Rome. Feels like 99. High temperature forecast to be 93. Keep your pool plans for your Sunday. It's going to be very hot, regardless of the exact number. And I think eventually more sunshine. So remember the sunscreen, apply and reapply. UV indices is going to be very high to extreme tomorrow, a toasty summer afternoon. And there is more where that came from. Do want to touch on the tropics first, though. We're watching a new area to possibly develop. Doesn't look impressive now because conditions really aren't that favorable for this little flare-up of showers and thunderstorms to organize. But within the next 7 days, or the next 4 to 7 days, there will be a greater chance of development. It's not guaranteed, but a likely chance, up to 70% chance of tropical development. So we're going to be watching that potential there. Next name on the list is Emily. So it could be tracking Emily within the next 7 days, but regardless, turning out to see no direct impact to any landmass, though we'll be watching for Bermuda, certainly no threat to the southeast United States. All right, 7-day forecast here. 96 tomorrow, though. I think we're going to lower that just a little bit, looking at some of this newer data because of that early morning chance of showers, couple storms, and maybe some lingering clouds into the afternoon. Could shave just a few degrees off of that 96. Still, though, hot, and it's going to be humid. Very hot Monday. The thing about Monday, yes, it's going to be hot, perhaps hotter than Sunday, but maybe the air is a little bit drier, so it may not feel like it's 104, 105. Maybe it feels like it's 99, 100. And if that's the case, we'll be watching to see if we need to adjust that first alert. But for now, plan on intense heat and then more noticeably dry air in the forecast as we get into Tuesday. And then, the humidity does eventually come back, even though our afternoon temperature is lower. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, still hot, but increasingly humid. But we're going to have more showers and thunderstorms around to help kind of keep the heat in check, so to speak, as we get into late in the work week and on into next weekend. Though still pretty hot as this heat wave continues, kind of really making its presence known finally across the southeast, whereas folks in Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and the desert southwest have been unusually warm for an extended stretch now. We're kind of getting a little taste of that. I want to remind you, full forecast coming your way, Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV at 9 p.m. The 10 o'clock hour back on WANF at 11 p.m. We'll keep you updated on the showers and thunderstorms that are roaming their way through North Georgia this evening, and more on tomorrow's hot forecast and laying out the work week for you as well. For now, I'm going to leave you with a live look at the Braves playing the big game. Dry there for now, but they too will have a chance of showers and thunderstorms probably before 10:30 in the evening. Keep an eye on that forecast. Reminder, you can always be alerted to rain and storms approaching your plans in the First Alert weather app. Have a good evening.